me perk up there, Kristen.
I am perky.
Are you?
Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Si, senor.
We're all going to be energized for this one. Okay.
Woo!
Yay! Woo!
Whoop whoop.
Sounds like Squidward in that episode where they had the magic conch shell, and he just went, yeah. Okay, here we go. Do you hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
Is that?
It sounds like an Iraq lobster. It was a rock lobster!
Okay, so we really are ripping off Family Guy, right?
At this point, yes. Fuck Seth MacFarlane.
Yay!
I love you, Seth. I didn't mean that. I know you're not watching this because you couldn't give a flying fuck. Anyways.
He might. You never know.
I mean, if I see him come to my house, then I will be genuinely surprised. But until that point in time, this is Squared Circle Breakdown.
Yes.
Sorry, I was opening my
Circle
mail.
Breakdown.
You were opening your mail.
Yep.
In the age of digital email, we are still relegated to actually opening physical mail.
Well, yeah, I had to get my W-2s so I could do taxes.
I would also like to point out the fact that our lovely lady Kristen here doesn't even have an actual mailing address. She has a P.O. box.
Yep.
That's right. But wait, it took...
Why would you point that out?
I'm just saying, because it's weird to me. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
It's because nobody knows. That's because nobody knows where the fuck I live. So it's like, you know what? It's just easier if we all take it to this one place.
Wait
and
a
I'm
minute.
like, cool. And also, my mom is the postmaster. So you know.
Isn't that a good thing that people don't know where you live?
Yeah, it's a great thing that people don't know where I live.
So
everybody, Kristen lives at 1234 Go Fuck Yourself Lane.
Oh. I was just gonna say, throw the guapo over the wall that Trump is building.
Well, Kristen is the closest to it, to the wall than all of us. So.
That's true, and if there's no respect given to the most charming, dashing, intelligent human being on the face of the earth, who happens to own the White House at the moment, there will be hell to pay.
Own it.
Hey, he's a billionaire! He bought it! He owns it!
No, he didn't. That's not even true.
Yes.
Fake news.
You are fake news, okay?
Hashtag fake news.
Exactly, you are fake news.
Look, Kristen, Daddy Trump told me that you're fake news.
Exactly.
You're fake news. Your face is fake news.
Listen, Mommy Melania is waiting with a cup of Hillary tears just for you. Come on. Okay, we're done with the politics. Because today we're talking about Fastlane. But before we get to Fastlane, we have some news. Depending on when this comes up, it may have been old news by a couple days from now because of the upload schedule. But before we get to that, always subscribe and go to www.unpopularunion.com where you can watch other famous YouTubers such as Cinematic Venom, Cinematic Excrement, etc.
Etc.
Exactly. So
I love subscribing to etc.
That's my favorite YouTuber. So, before we get to the pay-per-view, there's been some controversy as of this recording. This is being recorded on March 15, 2018. WWE, in their progressive society, have decided that an Andre the Giant Battle Royal was excluding another gender. I'm wondering, myself, if they're going to have a Battle Royal for the gender fluids, the Zers, the demigods, the gender queers, and all that. Whatever other gender, it's like Pokemon, they keep coming up every day. I digress. We have a female battle royal happening at WrestleMania, which was originally to be called the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal. Except, as of today, WWE has removed the video package that they put on Raw and SmackDown of Fabulous Moolah after Backlash, and have now just called it the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal.
Woo.
Great name change. I love it.
It's
perfect.
It's the best. But I don't think I should leave out the fact of why it has been changed. To anybody who has been naive or does not have a proper internet connection or just couldn't give a fuck about wrestling in and of itself, the Fabulous Moolah has a history that has only been really harped on within recent memory. She has a history.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this until this match was announced.
I had heard rumors about it for many years, but I did not know if it was true, if it was confirmed. I thought it was old wrestling legend, similar to that of when the original Ultimate Warrior died and they got somebody to replace him. So the rumors are, and I'm paraphrasing, she was apparently the modern Godfather in her day. She really was a pimp. She literally,
in like the worst way.
In the worst way, selling her female talents to do sexual favors for promoters if they wanted any opportunities whatsoever, took their money, and basically strangled the women's title, which is exactly why she held it for 35 years. Although it could be debated because she dropped it and gotten it back, but those are reigns that were not recognized by the WWF. So,
yeah, there's a lot of rumors about she would take people into her training school, and if you live there, like the rent and everything was outrageous.
And she'd
take. And my thing went off. Hang on.
There you go. Okay, Guapo, why don't you?
Skim off the top.
What?
Okay.
I gotta say, I'm slightly indifferent on this, just because I can say I'm one of the people who have had no knowledge of any of this stuff with Fabulous Moolah. I mean, I knew who she was as a pioneer in the women's as a female wrestler. However, I haven't heard any of the allegations or anything like that of what happened until earlier today, whenever I was watching a few videos on YouTube.
Well, they also said she basically held the women's revolution or women's wrestling back even further when Mildred Brooke had actually advanced it prior to Moolah. She actually took it many steps back. That's what they say. I wasn't around during Moolah's heyday, and the only stuff I've seen from Moolah, the earliest stuff, is her work from the 80s, which was way after her prime. So,
right.
With that said, Kristen, finish your thought before I go into mine.
Like I said, I hadn't heard about these rumors either. I hadn't heard about any of this until now. And I think a lot of people had a big problem with it recently because of the what's his name, Harvey Weinstein stuff, and a lot of people deciding they're going to speak out against sexual assault, unwanted sexual advances, whatever you want to call it nowadays. And if that's the reason, that I'm totally for it. I don't know if any of this is true. I mean, there are a lot of stories out there, and I mean, I kind of want to hope it's not true, just because all the things I hear are super shitty, and it would make me sad that that human being existed. But
see, here's my thing. This stuff has been out. It has been out for, I would say, a few years at least. I would say within the last 10, 15 years. I was on YouTube when it was announced that she had passed away. So this was around November of 2007. So that was 10 years ago. I have a tribute video up, because around that time I did not know of these accusations. I did not know of them until maybe a couple years after. I have the tribute video up, basically to represent what I thought, in my opinion, was my best work as far as a tribute video. But with that said, I digress. I do feel that there was plenty of opportunity for these same people to air their grievances, because shortly, I want to say about 3 years ago, I could be wrong, they had done some stuff with Moolah as far as tribute videos right around the time they started doing the Divas or Women's Revolution, right at the cusp of when Stephanie brought up Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch. They had plenty of time to get mad then. Why they're getting mad now, it's whatever. But
I can tell you what. Well, finish your thought and then I'll.
Well, I'm going to finish my thought because there's a lot of inconsistency with people's thoughts. But before I get to that, not only does this look bad on WWE, you made your stars look like idiots, because if you watch the tribute video, you had Sasha Banks, Bayley talking about her, having Bayley saying, I watched her matches when growing up and all that, trying to basically hold this woman up to a completely different standard than what the fans are holding her up to. Okay? So it's kind of odd that you made your employees look like that. But here's the thing that I think this is also plays a role into why they're mad. It's the inconsistency within WWE. Alright, Moolah, bad person. But why are we honoring the Warrior? Think about this. The Ultimate Warrior, his gimmick name was used during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, even though, if people remember, the motherfucker was laughing and having a grand old time at the idea that Bobby Heenan had cancer. He was mocking the guy when he was sick. On top of that, one of Warrior's biggest fails in the history of anything was back in 2005, he went to a UConn speech and made the famous quote, "Queering doesn't make the world work." This motherfucker was a disgusting person. He laughed at the Renegade, who was a parody of him. He laughed at his suicide. This guy was not a nice person. He laughed at people killing themselves. He laughed at people suffering on video. It's not like I'm saying this and then there's a shoot interview with him laughing at all this shit. Okay? So, it's the inconsistency of, we'll promote this guy, who was a piece of shit in real life. Listen. I don't mean to say that in a derogatory sense, because I know his kids probably loved him near and dear, and he was probably a great person to them. But to everybody else, the Warrior was not a nice guy. Let's just face that fact. But we're going to honor him, but we're not going to honor Moolah, okay? I understand you don't want to honor Moolah, but you got to be even Steven across the board. You can't be picking and choosing who you're going to honor and who you're not going to honor. They friggin' honored Jimmy Snuka when... right when he died, the ink wasn't even dry yet when they said that he was too incompetent to stand trial. It's the ever-so incompetence of this all. No Benoit, no Moolah. Understandable. I get it. But we'll honor Jimmy Snuka, who possibly murdered his girlfriend in cold blood, and this Moolah person who apparently drugged her own roster, held the Women's Revolution back, basically is the complete antithesis of empowerment. It's mind-boggling to me. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, that's a good way to feel. You were talking about earlier that you wouldn't know why they would wait to come out. I assume that, just like all the people that are coming out recently, it's kind of a safety in numbers thing, where you're not going to be... Even if people decide they're not going to believe you, they're going to be like, you're fucking lying, whatever. As a group, you're able to be taken more seriously than you would be by hanging by yourself, essentially.
Depends.
If one person made these accusations about Moolah, I feel like less people would believe them. Just like, when a famous guy assaults some woman and they immediately assume that she's, just trying to get money out of him, and don't think, the first thought isn't, oh, this person is telling the truth. It's always, oh, this person's lying. There's a safety in numbers kind of thing.
It's really a double-edged sword, because it's not like it doesn't happen where, yes, there are disgusting men out there who will sexually assault a woman and obviously grope them without their permission. That definitely happens. But you can't tell me that a woman's not going to do that for money. Like, that is an entire possibility. But my thing is, leave the Me Too movement out. Let's try and leave that.
Well, I mean, but my point is that the Me Too movement, I feel like, is a reason why there's so many people are outcrying right now, because that's such a prevalent thing right now that it just, I don't want to say came at the wrong time. That's not the way I want to word that. It was not the right time.
Well, here's
for WWE to do that.
Here's an inconsistency with people, and this is not a wrestling example, so bear with me. Obviously, you're talking about the Me Too movement. We're also at a time where race relations are at their worst. We're constantly having a race discussion problem. Back in the day, there was a baseball player by the name of Cap Anson. Okay? I could be wrong on his nickname, but I believe he had the nickname Crybaby. Cap Crybaby Anson. But there's a specific reason why he was called Crybaby. Now, granted, different time, different era. Fair enough. He was known to be a racist, like an extreme racist. Alright? He did not ever want to play with colored people. Ever. If there was a black person that went onto the field, he would make the biggest fit in the world. He wouldn't play ball. He was such a dick to African Americans. Guess what? That motherfucker's in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Alright? Why isn't there an all of a sudden outcry of Cap Anson? Now, granted, I'll give you this point. There isn't some illustrious battle royal or home run derby dedicated to Cap Anson, so there's nothing really there. But with all this taking somebody who accomplished something and noticing that they had a shady history, and now we got to abolish anything they've ever done in their history. Now, granted, with Moolah, depending on if you believe it or not, that is a little shady history, but why aren't we... It's the whole entire notion that there are so many examples that you can point to that are in the Baseball Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame. OJ's still in the Football Hall of Fame. That motherfucker, who clearly killed his wife and that waiter.
Well, but he was found not guilty.
Found not guilty, but the motherfucker keeps going on about, if I did it, let's just hypothetically say I did it. It's like, why is that a hypothetic? If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. Whatever. That's a whole other story. There's so many examples like that nobody seems to want to point out. It just seems like as soon as, like you said, as soon as there's a group of numbers, it just becomes, rather than an actual like cause for concern, it seems like there's a trend. Like, my fear is that these people are just hopping on a bandwagon rather than actually trying to say, hey, this person was a piece of shit.
I won't tell you that there aren't some bandwagoners, but that doesn't make the message less. So,
well,
like, just because,
it makes the message less if, let's just say, I confront somebody who's uneducated about it and they can't give me a reason. If you talk to me, yes, you'll get an educated answer on why Moolah's getting the hate. But say you go to somebody that's a follower and they can't give you an answer. Well, then that person who just talked to that individual who doesn't know why they're hating on Moolah, they're just following the bandwagon. It's like, well, what the fuck is this? This is stupid. It's moronic. And then eventually you get fucking civil unrest, blah, blah, blah. That's my thing. If you're going to join, at least know what you're joining. That's just me. I can understand. Listen, it's not like I don't understand why people are up in arms. But it's like this information's been out for quite a few years. And it's only now that we're coming to this. I mean, we weren't going to this 3 years ago when they had video packages. We weren't doing this 10 years ago when she passed away. I mean...
my mom would say something along the lines of, it's because, my mom always says the past is like a foreign country. They do things differently there. And it was just a different time. Then these concerns, these things weren't in the public eye or as big a concern as they are in this day and age.
Did Melania Trump really say that? Did Mom Melania Trump really say that?
Hilarious. Let's move on.
I could definitely see her saying that. Anyways, that's the Moolah stuff right now. I guess I should say one more thing. This is more towards why WWE nixed it. The outcry actually reached up to Snickers, who are the sponsors for WrestleMania. They heard the outcry, they expressed their disappointment, and that's what caused them to, pull out of the Fabulous Moolah name brand and everything. And it really is a bit telling to know that if Snickers hadn't said shit, then the WWE was just going to keep doing what they were doing. So to all of you people out there, if you want WWE to listen to you, go message Snickers now and tell them that you hate Roman Reigns, he's a piece of shit, and they should bury him, and maybe they will give you your wish. He won't be the guy anymore.
Yeah,
no.
I don't know. If they expressed their disappointment with the push of Roman Reigns, they acted pretty fucking quickly.
I mean, that was more of a public, outcry towards a very controversial thing, not a shitty storyline that we're being shoved down our throats.
Joke over the heads. Okay, that's great. All right, next. You had to kill the joke, didn't you, Guapo?
Yep.
Yes. I'm sorry.
You just had to You're an asshole. Anyways, Fastlane. That's why Trump is in office, because of people like you. Anyways, Fastlane.
Well, no, okay.
Fastlane.
He is in office because of people like me.
That's right. He's gonna save me from the bad people like you. Fastlane, ladies and gentlemen. What did we think of this show?
Are you saying I'm a bad hombre?
I don't speak Latin. I'm sorry. What did we think of this
Fastlane.
show? What was this show to you guys?
It was, I mean, most of it was just like meh. I like the tag match. The tag titles.
The tag title match that ended in controversy?
That ended in greatness. Yes.
The Blood Brothers? Or
Bludgeon.
Whatever this fucking group is, it's the third or fourth rehashing of Luke Harper and Eric Rowan as a team.
Third.
My point still stands.
So are they not? So are they still Luke Harper and?
Yes, they are still Luke Harper and
Eric Rowan.
Eric Rowan.
They're just not the Wyatt family. They just come out with hammers. That's it.
They kick people's asses.
Yeah, but they were doing that in the Wyatt family.
Yes. But now they have hammers.
Okay. This show was I don't know. First, there was at one point in the pre-show, I didn't really watch it, I just remember one point. It was Ty Dillinger and Breezango defeating Mojo Rawley, Chad Gable, and Shelton Benjamin. But there was at one point that Mojo Rawley got a "You Can't Wrestle" chant. And eventually he does a backstage interview where he actually says, "Do you think I care about being a wrestler?" He actually said this word for word.
No.
So then...
The cocaine's really going to his head.
Why should I care if you're in the ring then if you don't care to be a wrestler? I don't... It's not so much if you pick on the Chad Gables or the Daniel Bryans or like the indie guys. That's one thing. But to say you don't even want to be a wrestler... You didn't even want to say I want to be a superstar. You just said I don't want to be a wrestler.
The problem with that also is, I mean, the guy can't even cut a promo still. And he's also, I mean, he's not really the best, like, wrestler or superstar, for that matter, on the roster. He's kind of shitty, actually, if you really look at it. I mean, he honestly should never even won the Andre Battle Royal last year.
And this is the guy they chose over Zack Ryder.
Yep.
Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. I had a problem with the opener. Well, wait, Kristen, what did you think of this 6-person tag.
6-person tag. Well, I'm kind of, I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to use.
Is that the pre-show still?
Yeah, that's it. That was the only pre-show match.
I didn't watch the pre-show at all, to be honest.
Okay, well, that was the only thing I really had of note.
Yeah. That's kind of my take on it.
Why, in the opening match, are you pairing up two of the most over guys, knowing full well that this was not going to benefit either or? Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, it's clear.
This was a nothing match.
It's
So it was a match I know I didn't care about because we obviously knew Shinsuke was going to win it because they're not going to let him lose and lose momentum going to Mania.
But now it just begs the question, why would you throw Rusev in there? And here's the thing. I keep hearing this rumor that after WrestleMania, Rusev's due for a main event push. I don't buy that for a second. Ever since this Rusev Day gimmick got over, he's been losing and losing and losing. Oh, and by the way, he's also been losing. Just thought I'd let you know. He hasn't won much. How many matches has he won? Like 2?
Maybe.
If that. This fucking guy is your most over guy, and you don't do shit with him.
Why is that surprising?
Happy Rusev Day.
Because you would figure that a guy who supposedly, this is supposedly, is one of your top merch sellers, you'd do something with. But then again, same could be said for Daniel Bryan. As you said, nothing match, physical, but nothing really to write home about. I'm going to say this. I don't think Shinsuke Nakamura's had a good match on the main roster. Not even a great one.
I mean...
Oh, no, actually, no, I take that back. His match with John Cena on SmackDown. I'll take that.
That's what I was going to say. His match with Cena was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
However, they haven't really put him into a match that he can work with somebody like very well or given it enough time for it to work well. I mean, take for granted also, didn't he have a match against Dolph at one point?
And it didn't matter. It wasn't good. It wasn't great.
But there was nothing on the line. There was nothing to
do
with it.
It was Shinsuke's debut on the main roster as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. But you would think that a guy like Dolph Ziggler can get something good out of him. Actually, no. I should say vice versa, because Nakamura's a great worker. Especially his stuff in Japan. But the fact that this guy, it's not like he's been in the ring with schlubs. I mean, other than Jinder Mahal, those are matches that are 5-star classics, no doubt, but they're not exactly going to cut the bread here. Nakamura's been in the ring with guys like Randy Orton, obviously John Cena. Hasn't he been in the ring with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and all that?
His debut match in NXT
was
I'm talking after NXT. His just WWE Raw, SmackDown. Because that's why I said he hasn't had a good match since he debuted on the main roster, other than his match with John Cena. NXT, he's done fine, but
I just don't think that they've booked him very well since he's moved up to the main roster.
This is true, but I don't think he's even had that many good matches since he's been on the main roster. I mean, I would say this, based on the Royal Rumble, him and Roman Reigns could have a kick-ass match.
Yeah.
But that's if one of them goes to the other show. But it's probably not going to happen because I am under the assumption that Shinsuke will win at WrestleMania.
Yes, in the main event, he will win.
To become the first ever Japanese-born WWE champion.
Yes.
Unless you want to count Yokozuna, because he definitely was Japanese.
Well, do people count Yokozuna?
Gimmick-wise, he was Japanese. Real life, he was Samoan.
Correct, so no.
Well, then, no.
Well, hey, kayfabe still lives. We can at least pretend, okay? Let's
Just okay?
Yeah, come on, just go with it.
Just okay.
Randy Orton goes up against the current United States champion at that point, Bobby Roode. Mr. Glorious for the United States title.
Glorious. I thought it was a good match.
It was okay.
It was good. I mean, it was Randy Orton versus Triple H, so.
Yeah, and those matches usually are just okay.
Yeah, true.
Unless it's No Mercy 07. That was actually really fucking good. The Last Man Standing match, because they had two matches that night. The Last Man Standing match was really good. I do not like Bobby Roode. Never liked him.
What?
Really?
I never cared for Bobby Roode. I don't hate him. I do not hate the guy. I never, went into a match saying, I hope this guy loses. I just go into a match of Bobby Roode's and not give a flying fuck. The only thing I cared about Bobby Roode ever in my life was at NXT Brooklyn 3 singing his theme song when he was going up against Drew McIntyre. But other than that, I never cared for him. Never cared for his mic work. Never cared for his ring work. His ring work, to me, is completely outdated. It's just... I don't know. I just cannot get into the guy.
I'm just saying, when I said that about Shinsuke Nakamura, you guys jumped all over me about it.
Well, I was trolling. Come on, you gotta understand. I troll all the time. I am the human day troll at this point.
I'm just pointing it out.
Hey, if you want to jump on me on the Bobby Roode thing, go right ahead.
Yeah, I would have to have the energy to do it.
You never have energy. Never. Never. Quit your job.
Quit my job?
Yeah, win the lottery, quit your job, and then we'll have energy.
I can't wait till I do that.
Yeah, just win the lottery so that you don't have to work.
I will become the new green shirt guy, I won't wear a green shirt.
The green shirt guy without a green shirt. I like that. That's awesome.
Right?
Randy Orton wins this match. Afterwards, Jinder Mahal comes out and tries to do his little thing, but unfortunately, Roode gets the last laugh because he attacked Randy Orton with a glorious DDT.
Well, both Jinder and Randy.
He did it to both. Okay, that's right.
Yes, he did the glorious bomb to both. A glorious DDT.
So it looks like we're going to have a triple threat match at Mania with Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode, and Randy Orton. And...
Whoa.
Okay, Rick. Randy Orton is a Grand Slam champion.
Finally.
I felt like this was dumb. Why does Randy Orton need to... Why?
I'll do you one better.
To let him be Grand Slam champion.
Okay, but I'll do you one better. Why, if we got to make him Grand Slam champion, why couldn't we have just waited till WrestleMania?
Because Randy doesn't need it at Mania. He needs it...
But if it's a big thing, especially since Randy Orton is your favorite, you couldn't wait another month? I mean, WrestleMania is all about making moments.
True, I agree. The man has a point.
I think it was dumb. I didn't think there needed to be a reason to... I don't think he needed it. Other than, the obvious reason was, because they want him to be Grand Slam champion. We don't know how much longer Randy Orton still has.
I would say he has another 10 years.
I'm
not saying he's leaving tomorrow, but,
I feel like he's going to retire in the next few years at least. He's still in great shape and everything, but Randy's been doing it since he's 18.
Yeah.
But he's
still
young
Randy
still.
Orton. He's still Randy Orton. He's still...
The Legend Killer?
He's still that.
He's only 37. So if you've got guys like Goldust who are 50... and are still able to at least have a watchable match, maybe not great matches, the guy's still got at least a good 10 years.
I don't know.
Well, and he's Randy Orton. He has that same quality that like John Cena has. Where
Goldust just put on a great match against. Goldust just put on a great match against John Cena. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, and Randy Orton has that same John Cena thing where beating Randy Orton, I feel like, gives you something. I
Some
beat fucking
credibility.
Randy Orton. He's a fucking multi-time champion. Blah blah blah. Like Randy Orton now is in. Other than winning this title, Randy Orton is in the business of I'm just gonna make this guy look good.
Isn't he like a 13-time world champion or something like that?
It's something crazy like that.
I lost count at like 3 because
because I know he won it. Like he's close to Cena's, but he's never gonna get that.
No, because he's been well protected, but not protected like Cena. Like Cena's protected in the eyes of the fans. Orton's protected backstage. Randy Orton's been protected since I literally think the only 2 companies he's ever worked for were WWE and OVW, and OVW was the Devil Elemental to WWE.
Correct.
Just saying, he never wrestled in the Indies. Not saying that's a bad thing. That's not a knock on him. But he's done a lot of questionable stuff in his day, very bad things, and he was about to fail a 3rd drug test, which would have terminated his contract, but coincidentally, they changed the rules of their wellness policy just before he was about to fail it. So,
whatever. I don't know if they'd do it just for Randy Orton.
They've protected Randy Orton quite a bit. Like, all the stuff he's done, if anybody else would have done, they would have gotten fired. Like, trashing a hotel room in Europe, and then they have to send his ass home. He never got... I don't think he got punished for it. Never. He just got sent home. That was it. He shat in a woman's bag, and nobody did anything.
That's true. That happened.
I'm just saying. The guy... I don't know the guy personally. I've heard he's calmed down considerably over the years. Don't know the guy. I'm just saying he has preferential treatment amongst people up there. And
he's one of those ones that has never felt like he needed to leave to go someplace else, a la Cody Rhodes, to feel like he can get bigger. He's already been the top person and the guy, I guess you would say, other than Cena.
Yep.
We had a backstage confrontation with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. All it was Sami Zayn reassuring that they're still best friends, and Owens just was still pissed off over what happened on SmackDown. Okay. Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Cat Lady Natalya. And Staten Island.
It was a very unnecessary match.
I hate to say it,
Staten Island girl Carmella, who's actually from Massachusetts.
I didn't watch this match at all because we used this match to have our Facebook group's championship match for stuff. So, yeah.
This was a no-nothing match again. So to me, I've seen 2 no-nothing matches with Randy Orton winning the title. That's about it. And then, yeah, just nothing really to say about this. A lot of people like this pay-per-view for some reason. I don't know why.
It wasn't a bad pay-per-view. It was just kind of like...
filler.
It's Fastlane. It was filler.
Most people say this was a great pay-per-view. Good to great.
Probably because of 6-man.
To me, that doesn't constitute a great pay-per-view. Just one match.
I mean, the 6-man was good, but we'll get to that.
But it's still one match. If you've got a bunch of forgettable matches but one good match, that's not a great pay-per-view. You just have a pay-per-view that happened to have one good match. Like, all right, WrestleMania 25. Does anybody call that a great pay-per-view despite it having Shawn and Taker? No.
Nope.
It's a garbage show. Anyways, the tag team titles... The Usos defending against the New Day. I was excited for this because these 2 teams have great chemistry. They have great matches. My friend hates the Usos, so it was exciting to hope.
So it's always fun.
It's always fun to hope that the Usos win. All he could bring up is DUI, and I'm like, yeah, because he was driving under the influence of going into this match and winning against the New Day.
And being champion.
Well, remaining champion, because they are the champion.
Remaining champion, yes.
So they have a match, and it was going good until, as we were talking about earlier, the Bludgeon Brothers came in, destroyed everybody, Apparently injured Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods did like the worst facial expressions that I had ever seen.
I thought he was selling great.
His facial expressions were so goofy that I just could not escape the moment.
Match itself I really enjoyed, but then again, I always enjoy Usos versus New Day.
This was their weakest one due to the finish, because they're building the Blood Brothers. And
I don't know. I like the fact I like the stealing the finisher moves from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're doing with the Bludgeon Brothers, I'm not buying, because they've pushed these guys countless times, and it goes absolutely nowhere. So I'm not getting my hopes up, because I love WWE's booking so much.
Because Vince McMahon tells you to.
Exactly. But I'm not gonna allow them to anger me. This is one of those things that I'm just gonna be like, the Bludgeon Brothers, another thing for me to not care about. So I don't know. I want them to succeed. I love Luke Harper. Loved him as Brody Lee in Shikara. Great wrestler. Eric Rowan, he plays his role right.
Yep.
That's about it. But yes, we got a beatdown, so obviously they're leading towards the Bludgeon Brothers going for the tag team titles, possibly in a triple threat tag team match. Who knows? If they do, that's going to be a little bit overkill because of this WrestleMania card already being in an overkill spot. AJ Styles gets interviewed backstage. He was cutting a promo about retaining his title tonight and going on to face Nakamura at WrestleMania 34. Nakamura came in, tried to interrupt Styles, but Styles cut him off, and that was that.
And that was that.
The women's title.
That was that.
Charlotte defending the women's title against Ruby Riott. I forgot. How did this match come to be?
I assume Charlotte's been feuding with the Riot Squad for a while now.
Yeah, Charlotte.
But did Ruby Riott win a number one contender match or something?
Negative
I think so. Did she not? I thought she did. Nope, it was just, these two are feuding, so...
Title shot.
This match definitely felt like as if Charlotte needed something to do to prepare for what, we'll get to that, her match at WrestleMania.
Are you going to point... are you telling me you're going to point something out about that?
Well, Ronda wasn't on this show, so unfortunately I will not. And she won't be for the next few Raws until the go-home show, so sadly. Listen. What's the obsession with Ruby Riott? This is another one I don't understand.
She's just different looking. That's basically it.
But I don't think she's different looking in a good way. It's just like...
Well, I mean, that's just your opinion of that.
That's what I'm saying. It's my personal preference, but I'm trying to understand where everybody else sees it.
I mean, I don't personally
she's
like her hugest fan. I get it. I get the appeal because she's just different looking and she's got a different,
I don't think that works anymore though, because everyone's different now.
I think she's a good wrestler. However, how they're making her do it
specifically true, because you would say Paige is all dark and grungy and whatever, but yes and not really at the same time.
I mean, it works for some people. Obviously, that's her style. That's what she likes. But in-ring performance, she is a good in-ring person.
But look, I think that type of argument works in an era where it was all blondes and all that. But it's like different. It's like there's a lot of... The one thing that the women's revolution has going for it is there's a lot of unique faces now. You got Charlotte. She's royalty because she's the daughter of Ric Flair. You got Naomi. She goes out there, dances, has the glow. Becky Lynch, steampunk. As you were saying earlier, Paige, gothic, and all that. Mandy Rose, the long-lost daughter of Trish Stratus. Sonya Deville, the MMA fighter. Liv Morgan, Carmella's long-lost sister. Okay? There's a lot of... That's one thing...
I like that's their gimmicks.
I'm making that shit up, but I'm saying I'm noticing a lot of variety in what they're doing, at least. They're trying really hard to separate the women, even if they're not doing a good job. Asuka, another one. Very different from the roster. Like, if you're talking different as in gothic, I can't really argue that point, because it's like, that's a specific thing. But just being...
No, she's not like gothic. She's just
She's
kind of...
more punk.
My
punkish.
point being is that, yeah, she's punk. If you're saying it's because she's punk, I can't argue that. If people like punk, people like punk. But just being different, I don't think it counts anymore, because everybody is now different. It's not 2011 when you had your Kelly Kellys, your Maurices, your Michelle McCools, your Laylas, your Bella Twins, your, who the fuck else am I forgetting? Your Rosa Mendez yeah, they all pretty much wrestled the same, had the same gimmick, had the same promo, everything. That's
I don't know. I mean, I'm not like an end-all, be-all, do-or-die Ruby Riott fan, but, I get it.
What I don't get is I still don't understand the Riot Squad and also Absolution.
That was because they were like, fuck Absolution. Well, the Riot Squad is fuck Absolution isn't going to work out because Paige got hurt. Well, but I keep hearing separate rumors about, like, is she coming back or not? Is it over for her or not?
2 points. One, they debuted literally the SmackDown after Absolution debuted.
Yes.
So
that's true.
I don't think the injury had anything to do with it. Secondly, they never really announced that she was retired. It was just spread through dirt sheets, and they haven't said pretty much anything. The only thing we got was a very vague Instagram post by Paige where it was edited to make it look like she's standing on the turnbuckle with a bunch of cameras flashing at her with like a big thank you thing. It was kind of like alluding to the fact that, yes, she is done. Which is scary because the woman's only 25.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, granted, she's been wrestling for 10 years, but still, that's a
still
very
like
young
she
age.
had from what I've heard, she has a really bad neck injury. Kind of like a Daniel Bryan thing, where WWE's probably not going to clear her.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of shit.
So that's that, but Absolution seemed to have more life to it than the Riot Squad. The Riot Squad, to me, have just been there.
Well, because they had Paige, and Paige is a much better talker, I believe, than Ruby Riott is. Not that Ruby Riott's bad, but...
And, I forgot.
But she's not Paige. She doesn't have that start. The fans know who Paige is. They know her pedigree. They know her. If you don't watch NXT, you don't know Ruby Riott all that much other than, she's from NXT. And I know that because the announcers have said it about 12 times.
Well, that's one thing, and plus you're trying to get us to care about 3 new characters. It's like...
that are all from NXT.
Well, yeah. The point is that they're new characters, and one of them, in my opinion, isn't as polished as Paige. But yeah,
And none of the new characters have any acclamations inside WWE yet.
Well, neither do
none of them.
Neither do Sarah or Sonya Deville or Mandy Rose. Well, Mandy Rose competed in Tough Enough.
Yeah, exactly. And so did Sonya Deville.
I thought Sonya competed in the Mae Young Classic.
No, she might have been in Mae Young Classic, but I thought I remember her in Tough Enough too.
I may be thinking about the other MMA fighter. Anyways. So, after that long, drawn-out discussion, Charlotte Flair and Ruby Riott had a match. And it was a very average one.
Yep.
To which Charlotte Flair won with her, what is it, the figure 8? As she calls it? Figure 8.
Yeah, figure 8.
After the match... the woman that claims that nobody's ready for her came out to signify that her Royal Rumble win and her opportunity for a title match at WrestleMania was going to Charlotte. She was not going to be facing Alexa Bliss, and, in my opinion, this was the right call. I think Asuka and Charlotte Flair will be a way better match than Asuka and Alexa Bliss. Much better.
I agree. And plus, it was kind of, you could kind of see it coming because they've been building up this Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax thing for a while now.
Yeah. Somebody had pointed this out. I can't remember. Oh, shit. somebody didn't like the fact that on Raw, when Alexa Bliss and Mickie James were talking shit about Nia Jax, that apparently what should have happened was that they should have been unaware. Alexa Bliss and Ruby Riott. Okay, now I got it. When Alexa Bliss and Mickie James were talking shit, and Nia Jax was watching it, they should have went at this like the Batista Triple H angle, where Batista knew Triple H and Ric Flair were up to cahoots. And Nia Jax, she could still do the whole snapping and crying and all that. But when it comes time, Nia Jax, like with Batista, gives the thumbs down and just power slams or power bombs of both of them and comes to a big mark out moment. I think that would have been better than what they did here. But that's for Raw.
You mean Nia running to the back screaming like a child and ripping luggage apart?
Well, I'll say this. I was marking out for that for one reason. It was reminding me of what I wanted out of Nia Jax, to be the female Braun Strowman. I was hoping that she would start like deadlifting trailers and all that. I would be in hysterics, and she would be my favorite female wrestler on the roster instantly if she would start doing that. But alas, it ain't happening. With that, we've got a main event. Six-pack challenge. Probably the best match on the show. Actually, it is the best match on the show. AJ Styles defends the WWE title against KO, Kevin Owens. The Doctor of Thugonomics, John Cena. Sami Zayn, the guy who reminds me of El Generico for some odd reason.
I don't know why that would be.
Why?
I don't see the
he doesn't even wear a mask. I don't see it.
I don't know. It's a weird.
I don't know. I don't get the. Yeah, I don't see it.
Baron Corbin with his tag team partner on his stomach, Pat Back. To anybody who knows me, you'll know what I'm saying.
Oh God.
And Nikki.
Yes, Nikki.
Also known as Dolph Ziggler.
The show off.
Well, he didn't show off much here. Because he has done this gimmick, and it has alluded to absolutely nowhere. He won the U.S. title. He said, "You're not good enough for me." Dropped the belt. Left. Bobby Roode wins a tournament to get the title back. Dolph comes back at the Royal Rumble, only to get eliminated. Disappear again, only to come back and do absolutely nothing.
Why is that surprising? They haven't known what to do with Dolph Ziggler for fucking years.
It's just so amazing that they believe that doing the same thing over and over again will get them a different result. It's funny.
Yes.
It's really funny. Anyways, we had a match. It was fine. They were obviously telling the story here of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn constantly getting the fall, but Shane McMahon keeps pulling them off because at some point they were responsible for Shane McMahon getting knocked on his face. And it led to AJ Styles retaining by doing the forearm smash to Kevin Owens at the very tail end.
Which I saw very predictable, because I even told Suave while we were watching, okay, AJ's taking a bump onto the table, and then he's not going to move until he wins the match.
Well, yeah. Might as well keep him as healthy as possible so he can have his match with Nakamura. They pretty much hyped that match from the very beginning.
Oh yeah, I mean it's Wrestle Kingdom rematch.
Right. Now,
it's fucking amazing.
Now people believe that will be the main event. AJ Styles.
Gotta hope so.
It will not. It will be the big dog reclaiming his glory. I will be there, and I will be making sure to troll my section. I hope they boo the shit out of him. So
Look, I'm pretty sure most people will be leaving by that time before that match even starts.
They will not. They said the same thing about Taker and Roman Reigns in my section. They all stayed.
But we know people who actually walked out of Mania for certain reasons.
Yeah, you saw a couple of people, not 70,000.
I left WrestleMania 25 before the end of the Triple H versus Randy Orton match.
Yeah, but they're not the guy, though. They're not the big dog. That's not their yard. This is his
I
yard.
promise you, and I already have confirmation from the people that I am sitting with. If that's the main event, we've all decided we're leaving.
That ain't right.
Well, you can't go far because we have a video to shoot right after.
Yes.
Well, we're going to Johnny's hotel, which is Steve's hotel, so.
So she has a good point. Fuck.
That's right. So that was Fastlane, a very average SmackDown. Oh, I should make note that this is the final SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view because after WrestleMania, from this point forward, pay-per-views will be dual branded.
Thank God.
Are you guys excited or not excited?
For Mania?
No, for the matches for not having 2 pay-per-views a month, essentially.
I would have rather had one pay-per-view a month and it not be dual branded.
Yeah, what he said.
That's how I would.
Each pay-per-view, each brand should get 6 pay-per-views.
Right. So that way you get time to build.
Excluding the major 4.
Well, yeah,
yes.
Of course, but
clearly the major 4s are all going to be. There's all going to be overlap, whether they have people that face each different brand or not.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not in favor of this because the last time they started doing dual pay-per-views, it was a slow decline for SmackDown, and it eventually led to SmackDown being no longer a second brand. It became basically a show.
Overlap.
Superstars
that's 2 hours and has a TV deal.
Correct.
I was not in favor of that because especially in 2009, when CM Punk was like on fire, especially with that feud with Jeff Hardy, that was some great stuff. And then it just, because that was the only time you were ever going to see CM Punk shine at all at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This being the final SmackDown pay-per-view, it was nice knowing all these brand exclusive pay-per-views, but now because they weren't doing really well, because they had to have so goddamn many, that now we're back to dual branded, and I don't like where this is going. So,
well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really rather, like you guys said, each show gets 6 pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you even wanted to do something dumb, like, because, you want Raw to be your A show, God knows why you would want that. But anyways, even if you wanted, say, Raw to be your A show, you should, I don't know, give them 2 more pay-per-views than SmackDown has, or whatever.
I can understand why, because it's the bigger established show. It's been around longer, but it's obviously SmackDown's been pretty horrific lately, but yeah, that's that. I already got an idea for our next episode, ladies and gentlemen. I said I wanted to do another top 10, and I've got a top 10 for us.
Okay.
For Guapo and I, it may be easier. Chris said, I don't know how many you've watched.
We'll see.
I don't know how many of you watched, but I figured because it's WrestleMania season, top 10 favorite WrestleManias.
Manias or WrestleMania matches?
WrestleManias.
Okay.
Like actual shows. I've already got my top 10. I'm just still trying to configure which is going to go where.
Can I be handicapped and have a top 5? Since I haven't seen as many WrestleManias.
Are you trying to demine the whole handicap population and trying to fit in with them?
No, I'm talking about handicapped like in golf.
Wait, Kristen, how many have you been to?
You went to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
I've been to more than I've watched on TV.
So yeah, you've been to 6, if I'm correct. You went to 25 to 30, pretty much. So I have seen
WrestleMania 25 through last. No, I didn't watch last WrestleMania. So WrestleMania, what's this one? 33?
This is gonna be 34.
Yeah,
that we're going to.
So I've seen WrestleMania 25 through 32.
And you have not gone back and watched any WrestleManias?
I've watched a couple. Like, I don't remember which WrestleMania it is, so don't yell at
We
me.
watched-
Just tell me the main event. I'll help you out.
We got you to watch WrestleMania 20.
The triple threat with He Who Shall
WrestleMania
Not Be
20.
Oh
Named.
yeah, that's 20. Yeah.
I've seen that one. I've seen a couple. I'm trying to think of the main events. They're all blur.
All right, can you name me a match off of them? Any match?
Nope.
You suck. Anyways,
Sorry.
the WWE Network's your friend, so if you ever want to watch some of those manias, some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. If you really want to have a good laugh. Anyways, that's next episode.
Week.
Yeah, well, next week, next show. Like I said, the uploading schedule is wonky, but that's due to my conflicting schedules, especially now. But
It is also due to the fact that sometimes me and Guapo are lazy and are like, I don't want to fucking do it
yeah,
tonight.
and that's a shame because I got us T-shirts made that we're gonna wear it one day to promote this damn thing.
Yes.
Well, we're still doing it.
Yes.
What number episode is this?
I forget. I will remember once I look it up.
See, that's...
Once we post it, he'll remember.
But I'm still dedicated to doing this show and having as good of a time for everybody as possible.
I think this. I want to say this is 23 or 24. I don't remember.
Yeah, we're not even up to 20 yet. I can guarantee you.
I thought we were up to 20. Are you sure?
I think we're like 18, 19, some shit like that.
Okay.
We're pretty close.
Well, the people will know, and then they'll laugh at us if we're wrong.
While we're still here, I just want to propose. I want to pose a few questions to you two.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
First, feelings towards Braun Strowman winning the Tag Team Battle Royal to face Chicken Pirate and Jason Statham at Mania for the tag
Statham
titles.
as James Bond.
Yes.
Amazingly stupid.
It's Braun Strowman, so I'm okay with it.
Who will he get to be his partner?
It's amazing, but stupid.
Why would he have a partner? Why would a guy who can lift a trailer with his dead fucking hands need a partner?
Because it's a tag team.
Be his partner.
Dude,
Alexa
his hands are his partner. Like literally.
Bliss.
He does not need a partner.
Okay.
Yes, the belt, his hands wear one belt, and he wears the other around his waist.
Yeah. Come on, get with the program. Oh,
I'm just saying, if we're going down this rabbit hole of stupidity, then,
listen.
Then either he is the tag team champion, like when Jericho was carrying both belts around because Edge got hurt. Like, I want that, or Alexa Bliss.
But see, here's the thing. Since he has two hands, and both those hands will be tag team champion with them, we're going with the Freebird rule here. So each hand will compete. Yes, clearly.
Each hand will compete, and he has to stand on the outside of the ring sometimes, or he has to go one-handed.
It'll be like,
some matches.
Have anybody of you played WWF Attitude where you can play as Al Snow's head? Like, literally, you can play as Al Snow's head, where all it is a head, 2 hands, and 2 feet, no body. That's how it'll be.
It'd just be hands floating.
Hands and
that
feet
he tags
floating.
In.
Exactly. Oh my God, we are geniuses. Where's Vince Russo to help book this shit?
Oh God. Okay, second question. I'm pretty sure I know your answer already, Monoxide. No. Kristen, are you ready for the ultimate deletion?
I thought we were gonna get through a whole show without it.
No. That is not the gimmick here.
Not when the leg of reincarnation is in the near future.
And
not care less.
Not only that, we're getting the debut of King Maxwell, Lord Wolfgang, Vanguard 1, Senior Benjamin, and Ruby Scott.
And Queen Rebecca.
Queen Rebecca.
But not Brother Nero, because he's an idiot.
Not yet. Brother Nero will be peeking through soon.
Quick side note on that.
WWE shows up too.
WWE did release a statement on that said Jeff Hardy's his everything that's happened is his own fault, basically.
Well, they didn't.
And so they're not going to get rid of him, or they're just going to be like,
they didn't do
"Fuck
anything to the
him," or-
Uso that got.
That's what I figured would happen.
The thing is, though, Jeff's been clean for like quite a few years, so I don't think he has anything on his record anymore because he's got everything expunged.
Yeah.
So if this is like technically a first offense, even though he blew 3 times over, he's just going to have to pay a massive fine. And maybe WWE will probably just tell him, don't fuck up again.
Also, couldn't care less about
Oh, she'll care.
Woken Matt Hardy.
She'll care once she witnesses the delightful and wonderful Ultimate Deletion.
I would also, what we're talking about.
She will give a hug to Meek Mahan for hiring him.
I would also like to add that those of you, I don't know, Monoxide, did you edit it out? I didn't watch all the way through, listen all the way through. Did you edit out my really long awkward pause, or did you leave it?
I think I left it, to be honest.
So if it was in the last video, for anybody that was curious, I was annoyed, but not that annoyed. That long pause made it seem like I was super pissed off. But really, I wear these little earbuds as my microphone, and I only have one in at a time so that I can do the whole length of the show. And my earbud was dying, and so I switched earbuds, and it just happened to be dying right at that moment. So there's a really long, awkward pause where it seems like I'm really pissed off at them. I'm not that pissed off. It's just a coincidence.
The fact you shouldn't have broken kayfabe, man. Should have let them assume.
It's because she's becoming awoken.
Yes, exactly. So that we can build something to where you actually start to become broken, and one day you become more woken than us, and then we get freaked out.
Exactly.
That'd be great.
I mean,
I would love to see the day.
I was super pissed off.
I'd love to see the day.
And then eventually, instead of confetti eggs, you'll just have Vanguard 1 like dump water all over.
Vanguard 1 will.
I should do
Vanguard
that.
1 will drop the confetti eggs from the sky.
And it will be wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh God, we have rambled on long enough.
All right, let's go.
Anyways, we've rambled on long enough. That was Fastlane, and on the next episode, we will give our top 10 WrestleManias of all time, or in Kristen's case,
Or
top
5.
top 7, since you've seen more than 5.
Okay. But then I would just have to put all of them in the list.
Exactly.
Which list? The list of Jericho?
Yes.
Okay. So
Good night, everyone.
Nighty night, and let's leave the awkward pauses for another day.
Adios, amigos.
The wall will be built, trust me.